Well, good afternoon from Cottage Farmstead. I'm Rebecca. My husband Nathan is walking in the distance there with the wheelbarrow. We have been wanting to work in our garden for weeks now, and we have not been able to make a whole lot of progress in there as things were just not aligning. So we put in an order for leaf compost from Compost, and we were having issues getting a dump truck driver or someone with a dump trailer to align with the same schedule as the composting facility. Because the composting facility, they can't get into where the compost is when it's raining, and the dump truck drivers are only available on rainy days when they're not doing their other jobs. So we finally had someone lined up to come on Thursday this past week, and they called the first thing in the morning and their dump truck had mechanical issues and it was in the shop. And we're like, oh no, we really wanted to get it. It was finally a sunny day, it hadn't been raining. And so we put out a call on Facebook in one of the local community groups here, and there was someone that had a dump trailer for hire. So we were able to have them haul this beautiful leaf compost that we're so excited to put in our garden this year. You'll also see this load of topsoil. The person that delivered gravel for our driveway when we were finishing up our house build had a job nearby where they needed to get rid of the topsoil for their project. So they hauled it over here for a really good price, and we've been putting it in our herb garden, and we're planning on spreading some of it around here where the red clay is just not growing grass. We've planted grass seed a few times and it's just not growing. So we're gonna spread some of that out here. And then we've also put it for herbs. We used it for some flowers along the back of the house. So it's come real in handy having that here to draw from when we're trying to work with solid red clay.
Wish you were here to enjoy this aroma. So this is composted chicken litter that we got from a local farm that raises chickens that are GMO free, certified organic. And he had this pile that was sitting for about 3 months, so we ended up getting some sacks delivered today, which we're very excited about, but it's still pretty ripe, but it's good stuff for the garden.
If you remember in the last video, I had a beautiful drawing of a very formal English potager style garden that I wanted for my vegetable garden. Well, we nixed that plan pretty quickly. We started trying to measure it out and then realized that the beds were too wide to be practical for like everyday pruning of tomatoes or trying to harvest stuff when it's like 4 feet away from you. So we decided to go with market garden style. So we have 30-inch beds, and we did slightly wider aisles since I wanted a little bit more space to work and be able to get in with the wheelbarrow easier. We're doing a mix of methods here, so it's a kind of a mixture of Charles Dowding, Back to Eden, and hugelkultur all wrapped up in one place, but it is something that's working with the resources that we have available to us. So we had some extra cardboard left over from the house build, but it wasn't enough to do the entire garden, say Charles Dowding style. So we're doing really thick wood chips in our aisles to keep the weeds down, a la Back to Eden gardening. Then we also had a lot of decaying wood out in the woods when we were harvesting firewood, so we put some of that out there, and we're going to trial hugelkultur in 4 of our beds. We're curious to see how the nitrogen goes with the chicken manure compost, and we also wanted to plant some root crops, and that's not ideal for how late we're getting into our hugelkultur beds here, so we're just going to try it in 4 of our rows. So behind me you can see our herb terrace, and you can see below it it's just straight red clay. So that's one of the reasons we were excited to get the topsoil, is we're able to put a layer of it on top, mixing in some perlite that we got left over from growing green family farms in order to have much better soil for our herbs and flowers that are going to go in there without having to go to the expense of doing compost. Well, with Farmer Nathan busy back there, I'm going to set the camera down and we're going to get started making these beds. Another ingredient in the mix for our new garden beds here is potash. So we've been making a ash pile of all the ashes from our stove. Every morning we've been dumping them out, and lately Nathan's been taking the bucket and emptying them out here in our gardens. So that'll be a great addition of potassium into our soil. So the The chicken farmer we got this composted chicken manure from said it smelled like cocoa powder. Don't believe him. And just like that, it's starting to look like a garden now. We have another row here and another hugelkultur bed, and we'll have half the garden prepared for spring, which feels great, especially after so many delays that we've had. So it's very exciting to be ready to have a place to put any of the transplants that we get started inside. We hope you enjoyed a quick update on the progress of our veggie garden here at Cottage Farmstead. It is well underway, and we look forward to sharing the whole growing season with you, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. We will keep adding to a playlist as well for the 2023 growing season. If you want to see any of the other growing seasons, I will link those above and down below. So we'll catch you next time.